Hello everyone, welcome you to the last day of the training. It is a bit emotional, but I'm so happy that you have made this far, and I have seen you all really trying hard to learn this new skill of the FPGA development. I really appreciate your efforts. Today I'll be ending up this session very quickly by explaining about some of the interview questions that are asked that I have made this far, and some other tips for resume building. What are all the key points that you should be keeping in mind? So let us dive into the today's agenda, that is interview questions and resume building. So in the interview questions, let us see some quick questions. What are the strategies to choose procedural assignment type for specific circuit? So in the procedural assignment, um, what type of specific circuit you will be choosing? What are the strategies that you choose? The major strategy for choosing the procedural assignment types involves understanding the nature of your logic, whether it might be sequential logic you want to think of or combinational logic. For example, if you are implementing a memory design, it's a sequential logic, and if you are implementing a multiplexer or some AND logic or logic, something that requires combinational thing, and ALU combinational, and considering whether it's part of the pipeline or multi-stage structure. The second thing is, we should consider if this design is a pipeline. I mean, are you developing the entire design, or are you designing one part of the entire design, one block of the entire design? You should be very familiar with that. You need to understand. And this thing is, choosing the appropriate assignment type based on the characteristics. That is must and should. What is the assignment type? Whether it might be blocking assignment or non-blocking assignment type. Always blocks with edge triggers are suitable for sequential logic. Always block with edge trigger. For example, you have a memory design and you will initialize the procedural block with always at the rate passage of the clock. How will you write? Sorry guys. Always at the rate passage of the clock. This is called edge triggering. What we are understanding today, always block with edge triggers are suitable for sequential logic, while continuous assignments or always block without edge triggers are suitable for combinational logic. For example, in the combinational logic we have designed multiplexer, right? There in that design you can see always block at the rate inputs like A, B, C, D, S0, S1, etc. Right? Always at the rate of change of each input value, you can see always block of the combinational logics will work. And this is the sequential, this is the combinational always block. Okay, let us go to the next question. What will be the effect of incomplete if else statements in the sequential circuits? So you are designing a sequential circuit implementation on the FPGA, and you have written only if else condition, but you didn't end that properly. Incomplete. What happens? The incomplete if else structure can confuse the synthesizer, means it will look for a specific syntax of if else, and if there is ambiguity in the ending of the if else about the intended logic, leading to errors during synthesis. So synthesis block will stop, the process of synthesis will be stopped because if else and case blocks are synthesizable blocks. It's crucial to provide complete and unambiguous control flow description. So whatever you follow the if else condition, you should follow the exact syntax. Don't make these syntax errors. Incomplete if else statement, missing else or additional conditions. So if else means you have to write else as well, else condition as well, or else it is not accepted by the synthesizer. And predictable hardware generation. There will be some hardware design issues as well. It is not implemented. It cannot be implemented if it is not synthesized. What is the difference between case X and Z? Uh, case. This case will be taking the constant values, and case X will consider the X values, and case Z will consider the don't care values of high impedance and don't care values of X respectively. That is a major difference based on the input expression values. That is a major difference. That is nothing more or less. A basic question. What is the race around condition? This is the most asked question. What is the race around condition in the Verilog? Race around condition is nothing but occurs when multiple always blocks in the Verilog HDL. When you have multiple always blocks, think of these always blocks. All these always blocks compete to update the same variable. For example, you have a variable of d in here, data in, and this data in is common for every always block. For every always block, data in value is changing after this, one after the other. What is happening? Data in is changing, or some data out register simultaneously. Thus, it can lead to unwanted behavior with the simulation errors, which can also result in error during hardware synthesis. So what should happen when they are executing? You shouldn't always assign different values to the same variable. Different variables. Different values to same variables. Okay, forget about this. You shouldn't give that. When you give that, race around condition will occur. There will be an ambiguity. There will be conflict always if there is an error. So if module consists of only input ports, and what will be synthesized output look like? No output. Verilog module consisting only of input ports and lacking internal logic or output ports may result in minimal or no synthesized hardware. So what are we designing FPGA for? We are designing the process between input and output. Don't forget that. Input, process and output. So if you don't have output, what are you actually designing for? Okay, there will be some read-only memory, but in that read-only memory itself, it has the input as well. But the output is you are reading the data from the memory. That is the output. So as it might be optimized away during synthesis, that kind of optimizations will happen during synthesis, like some dummy output port, or that output port given some high impedance value to that output port is considered. Okay, let's go to the next question. What is asynchronous reset? Asynchronous reset, when you see asynchronous, it is not related to clock. Okay, asynchronous reset is a type of reset signal in digital circuits that is not synchronized to the clock signal input. Let us see the example. Always at the rate positive of the clock, negative of the reset, begin. Reset condition code to execute when reset is asserted, and if reset is equal to 1, whatever the condition or the script you write, that condition will be executed, or else normally the operation execute on each clock edge. And commonly used for critical system resets, which are quick and independent, response is required. Asynchronous resets will result in additional design challenges such as potential glitches or hazards, require careful handling. That is what asynchronous resets is like. The for example, you are processing a data, a chip is working fine, data process is also happening fine. If you click on asynchronous reset, everything will be erased in a moment of time. Everything will be quickly reset. But what happens? There will be some hardware issues, like there will be some potential glitches. hazards, like for the sudden rupture of data, there will be some loss of data input, or there will be loss of data in the transition as well. So those kind of issues and errors should be taken care of when you are using asynchronous reset. There are synchronous resets as well. Those are most popular in usage than the asynchronous resets. These are very rarely utilized. And now let us go to the resume building. Let us understand what are the tips to be taken care. First one is, you need to mention the experience. For that experience, you need to have some good projects portfolio within yourself and work on the projects. Always it is better to implement the knowledge that you have acquired. For example, in your btech, in your graduation, if you are typically from an electronics background, you will be dealt with labs, right? Go to those labs, redo the labs again. For example, if you are developing some assembly language on 8085 microprocessor architecture, then understand the architecture and understand the assembly level language instructions, what are they doing actually, and compare that assembly level language to the C programming execution on the same processor. Think about these kind of things. Read the articles, have some good knowledge, and be ready for the interviews with some good experience that you need to mention. Gain the experiences, and this training will give you some good experience in terms of FPGA tools and FPGA architecture, and also some good understanding of designs of memories, FIFO, and some synchronous designs, combinational designs, examples of sequential logics, test bench simulation, Verilog HDL structure, how to write blocks, procedural blocks, what are the components of Verilog HDL structure, and using Xilinx Vivado EDA tool, we have run the entire flow of the FPGA design till the generation of bit streams. We have used IP integrate. These kind of experiences you need to gain. So I am very much thankful to everyone who have attended these entire days of training. So next thing is, mention projects. What type of projects you need to do? There is no hard and fast rule that you should only do VLSI projects. You should be familiar with embedded projects, IoT projects, robotics involving embedded projects, and also you can do some hardware design projects or software design projects. Have some projects in your portfolio and mention them here. Now you can take an FPGA and implement some project on it. You are not um, you will not be very new to the FPGA implementation. Take the hardware implementation, install the EDA tool that is given with the FPGA, and run the project. Design the blocks on the FPGA, implement a bigger design, run a random number generator, for example. That can be a project. So, why is random number generator again? That can be a good start where you can see the outputs on the LEDs of an FPGA. So, mention tool based experience. Now here, after this training, you can mention EDA tools like Xilinx Vivado 2015.2 version, and if you are using latest version, you mention the latest version EDA tool. And you can also work with some other projects in terms of embedded, like you can take some Arduino IDE, and you have worked on microcontrollers, you can mention those tools. And if you have Linux experience, have this Linux experience, this type of tool basics. Now mention the skills. What are the skills called as? Whatever you mention in the projects or experience, that is good. That is good informative thing about you. But skills are nothing but, okay, you know Verilog HTL at the beginner to moderate level. Okay, now you are good at Verilog HTL and also writing at test bench. Very good. And what other things you know? You know the basics of C programming. Very good. Write it. And you can understand and debug the embedded C programming. Very good. But you have worked on the embedded C programming. Work with the embedded C programming structure. When you mention these skills, right? Be familiar with the interview questions based on those skills. That is much more required. When you mention skills, you should be very thorough with the answers as well, coming across these interview questions. How will you research on these questions? Go to online, test the interview questions on those skill based interview questions. You will get the answers, and adopt those answers to yourself and write the projects. The thing, Get ready to explain these above points. You should be ready to answer these entire what kind of project you have made. Okay, explain the structure of the project. If they are getting impressed, they won't go for any other thing as well. They will directly select you. Make them impressed. So impress them with all your skills, experience, and good technical knowledge, that they will feel like you are the worthy candidate to take in into their industry or company. That's what we should showcase or sell yourself. That is the main key point. And next thing is, be specific and confident in your answering. If you lack at communication skills, that is not an issue. But if you lack at the confidence while answering, so if you know the answer, answer it confidently. If you don't know the answer, accept it openly and tell that, sorry, I may not be knowing this answer at this moment, but I will be happy to know that. In this way, you can be polite and gentle. Be that kind of a character in your interview room, and it is wide rangely accepted in the environment. So be gentle in your surroundings at all the point of time, not in the interview as well. So be specific. Specific means, okay, they have asked a question and you should be specific and crisp in the answering. And if they want you to elaborate, elaborate. And if you want to elaborate on your own, let them know that you are elaborating, and you can say, please allow me to elaborate on this topic, and you can say whatever description you want to explain. So that kind of specificity will boost up the confidence within you, and also for the recruiter, they will see a boost in yours, and they will be very happy to select. Be open minded to accept your mistakes, and it is absolutely normal. See, from the day one of your entire journey of engineering, you may not be knowing everything in the engineering environment, but now after 4 years or after some certain amount of time, you have known to the understanding of some topics, like you have got a good understanding of some certain points of engineering, like you have understood analog circuits, network theory, signal systems, communication systems, what are the internal electronics, and now you are understanding VLSI from this training. So in this way, you don't know the initial things at first, but you are learning. Every day is a learning stage. In the interviewer, if the recruiters are some bit somewhat rude, they won't be rude, but if they are harsh enough and if they are in a bad mood, we never know, right? uh, we don't assume the interviewer's mindset on that day. They might be in bad mood, and if they don't follow some certain protocols, everything will be ruined. And in that bad condition, be gentle and calm, stating that be open to that mistakes. If they say some mistakes, okay, take those mistakes, those are very valuable. If someone says you have mistakes, take mistakes as a valuable thing and develop on that. Do develop on them. If you consider the mistakes, you should develop them, or else it is of no use. And it is absolutely normal. Accept the mistakes, and you are not bound to the you are not bound to that kind of interview or companies. You should be rigid enough to accept any kind of situation with a positiveness, with a calm mindedness. Some interviewers might also trick you to that kind of worse scenarios. You should be very familiar that I should remain positive, I should remain calm, and I will take it as a normal thing. I will not react, or I shouldn't respond or react negatively, adversely. So, this should be kept in mind. So, coming to the next other tips, have good communication skills. Many of you people are lagging at communication skills. So, I want to give you a task from today, from whenever you see this video, to improve the communication skills. Daily practice for 15 minutes in talking to yourself in front of the mirror. Talk to yourself in the way you are talking to the interviewer. Please do this thing. I have started from this point of time. This suggestion was given by great professors of my college and some other institutes I have went through for communication classes and for learning English and speaking in this way. And I have come to abroad in dealing with this set of large global leaders of managers and GMs. I'm very familiar with the communication skills and approachability skills. Why? Because I have made myself open to the environment. So I made myself comfortable. Usually I'm an introvert, but I have made become this far due to acceptance of who I am and changing and adopting according to the uh, need around the situation. So if I am open enough, I can have that open offers as well to me. So have some good communication skills and follow the Harvard resume structure. You can find it in online. I don't want to give a typical resume structure that will give you some false appreciations. Take Harvard resume structure, keep it simple, keep it simple at the resume, and you can see good results when someone looks at into your resume. Why I say Harvard resume structure is it is easy to read and it is easy to understand who you are. So that is what it is required. And keep the resume up to date for ATS ready. Application tracking system is the new thing. Application tracking system is the new thing where you should be familiar enough that ATS is an AI which detects your resume and searches for keywords, or it acts as a search engine optimization to look for the appropriate skills that are aligning with your resume and the job description. So whatever the job description you look for job interviews, your resume should align with that keywords according to the job description, such that for every job application, keep in mind, for every job application, for every nth job application, I mean first, second, third and 100th, for every individual job application you need to make a resume, and you need to transfer those resume skills, or you need to rewrite those resume skills, adopt them according to the keywords in the job description. For example, in some of the jobs you can see programming skills. In some of the jobs you will be seeing Verilog HDL programming skills. What you will be writing in the resume? You will be writing, okay, programming, but not skills. You should write Verilog HDL programming skills for the Verilog HDL programming skills job description, and programming skills description for the programming skills in the resume. So you should match the keywords according to the job description. There will be higher rate of success in the selection through the resume, and you will be called for interviews. So that is one another thing. I think with this I'll end the session and review it by the professionals or by the online tools to verify mistakes and errors. You might make some grammatical mistakes, or you might miss some of your inner talents or skills that should be mentioned, and all these should reflect who you are. Resume should reflect who you are, and also have a cover letter with you. uh, I'll mention cover letter with you. This cover letter is also most important. You should make a cover letter, so that some companies will ask for a cover letter, why do you want to apply and why should they hire you, and these kind of questions if you can answer in those in that cover letter, and what is the unique selling point or unique skill that you are possessing that you will be fit for that company. You should mention all these kind of things about yourself, talk about yourself in the cover letter, and drop it in their own company's website in the careers page. So that is it. I think I'll end up this training here. I'm I'm happy to see you all, and thank you for attending everyday's session. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.